Welcome to Ratchet Night. Ratchet Hair Night, Ratchet Hair Night, Ratchet Hair Night. It's Ratchet Hair Night. It's Ratchet Hair Night. These hairs come to you inspired by the one and only, one of my favorite singers, Miss Erykah Badu. It's Ratchet Hair Night, ladies and gentlemen, on Booktube Live. What does hair have to do with books? There are books about hair. Sort of like a hair memoir. I need to change the title because Kia Denae, I'm like a minute late. Just a minute. No, I need my minute. Or 3. It's about to be Ratchet at midnight. Let me stop. Let me really stop. Hello, you guys. Thanks. If you are here, I'm gonna need my minute. Before I even look and see if anybody's there or make things right. I'm just about to be ratchet tonight. Ah, yes, mid-hair thing, mid-hair. Voila, voila. Hi, Steve. Yeah, I'm still cool. Yes, I still like to have fun. Life is short. It was a beautiful day, okay? So sue me. I had a lot to do. I am so halfway there with everything that I plan to do. But it's so much fun doing it. And I'm done with my painting, I think. Getting ready for the 52 paintings and 52 books. One book, one painting per week. As you guys know, what is it called? The Blackout next year, 2018, where I read what? Nothing but African-American books all year long. Yeah, we'll do that again tonight. Voila. Hi, 2 people watching. Hi, Kia Denae. Hi, KT. Hi, whoever is in the house, because nothing is in the chat. Just 3 people watching now. So I guess I better tighten up. It's been 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And yes, welcome to it. This is Ratchet. I would say Ratchet Wednesday because that kind of rhymes, but this is Saturday. It is what? 9:03 p.m. And I'm still listening to the Johnny, and you're kind of far away, so hopefully I'm not talking too loud, or at least loud enough, right? So tonight we're gonna, right now, since we're live, I have to change the title. So forgive me. It's still from last week. I could actually plan these and fix the title before I get on here, but I'm busy. I had errands to run and stuff. Oh, I said it's a book haul. You know, people love book hauls. They'll be running over here talking about, oh, there's a book haul. There ain't nobody running over here for no 1 or 2 hour long videos. So I'm going to change it right now. Oh, sorry. Okay. If you are new to this channel, welcome to the madness. This is Denise D. Cooper. Yes. I can use this craziness as long as I want to because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. And so I get to act crazy and blame it on the artistic side of me. What you looking at? My ratchet here? We're going to talk about books. Yes, we are. Got a couple here. And I'll tell you why I only got a couple, because I think that I'm looking at her. She looks so behind. We got the lag again. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to try not to make too many fast movements. You know, I don't want to be talking like this and doing all like that and stuff like that there. No, anyway. I told you I have to be entertaining to watch this back again and see how my year wound up. Isn't everybody getting ready for that? Like, what have I accomplished this year in 2017? I was going to say 2016, but I caught myself. Oh, I'm watching myself do that. I better lose some weight so I can really do that. Okay. Anyway, I am going to change the title. And I totally didn't get the pictures up, and I'm scared to touch it because I touched my computer just before I went on. That's why I'm on time, but I'm kind of a little late. Reason being, I disconnected everything. I just like hit my foot and stuff just went out. I moved my light fell, everything. Yeah, it just goes like that sometimes. So You just got to keep on moving because the show got to go on. So hello everybody, this is Denise Cooper of Booktube Live, Art Books Live, and we're going to be talking about a couple memoirs tonight, and I'm actually getting ready to change. I forgot what it was called. Let me see if I can actually bring this up. I'm kind of scared because I think I'm going to disconnect y'all. I'm going to try it anyway. If we should happen to disconnect, because now I'm on the yellow, hi for people watching, now I have yellow, which means my green is at the healthiest strength of the live, and so yellow is falling in there because I think I've gotten some lag again. I don't know. It's raining outside. You can't hear it, but I can hear it. I notice when the weather's out there and I say something about it and then I watch it back, it's like nothing. You can't hear nothing, but I can hear the weather, cars honking and everything else. Oh, that's wind. Yeah, we're getting some weather out there, you guys. Well, there's always weather, but I'm just saying. So let me check this out and go to the actual picture for the memoirs. Oh, there it is. I was looking at other stuff. Okay, so all up in their business. A review of memoirs and autobiographies. I'm not reviewing anything. I haven't even read the 2 books I took off my shelf. I wanted to take the Quincy. I wanted to actually just take some recommendations off the shelf that I have. And last weekend on Saturday, we did the book haul from the Doc Bookshop, a Black-owned bookstore here in Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm talking with a glare on my glasses, so sorry. So we did that, and let me turn down Johnny a little bit and then truly get to saying hello to everybody and doing a proper opening. Kind of running behind, but I was on time kind of thing, like I just said. Let me turn down John. Okay, actually let me pause him because I really like that part in the song and I might come back to it. You guys know how I am. No, I don't have any wine. I had some coffee, but it's now sitting over there so far away from me that I can't get it. So about time this is over with, it'll be freezing cold and I'll just have to nuke it or something and heat it up or do what I do because I'm going to paint tonight because that's what I'm in the mood for. So I'm also in the mood to talk to you guys. So now that I've turned off the Johnny, now that I'm going to see who's in the room, there's 3 people, it keeps teetering back and forth, and I can't see the live. Oh, it says introducing live chat highlights. Got it. So I'm clicking on got it. Now I can see you guys. Now I can see you. Yes, I can see you sitting there in your pajamas eating pizza. What you doing over there? What you put your book over your chest. Stop playing. God, you're supposed to be in the chat room acting right. Hello, on American in Asia. Hello, yellow-footed tortoise. Hello, yellow-footed tortoise. How is that? How you doing? This is Denise Cooper, and just a few more days to your Blackout 2018. I know, it's like countdown. It's like getting this little. It was like this, when I thought about it. If you've been following this channel, I talked about this months and months ago. Probably, I think I talked about it, actually made the plan for it at the beginning of 2017 because I already knew what I wanted to do. I already knew what I wanted to do in 2019. Now I already know what I want to do in 2020. If I should happen to live all these years, it's only 3, but I'm just saying, women die really, really quick in my family. So it's nice knowing you guys if something should happen. I'm just saying, I died happy. So yes, one American in Asia, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is your name Curtis? Is your name Curtis? And if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. Because, yeah. Now, those are some ponytails, aren't they? I'm telling you, this is Ratchet Hair night. I wasn't done, so I was figuring, I'll just stop. I'll just stop and I'll try to be on time. Because, I want to be on time. That's all I'm going to say. So, correct me if I'm wrong, because there's some lag. So, about time you tell me what your name is, I'm going to be talking about something else. That's how much lag it is. And it feels good in Texas. It's like the weather's like so perfect. Like for December, we haven't had any snow. Actually, some places have had snow. And my son said that it snowed a little bit, but it didn't stick one time. I'm thinking, I didn't see it. So it hasn't snowed yet. We haven't had snow in a long time. And I've been here 9 years, and I think it's been snowy, definitely icy sometimes, but some just you know, winter after winter, we don't get snow all the time. So here it is. It's raining in December. Maybe it'll get really cold tonight and turn into ice. And then maybe it'll ice up on Monday and Tuesday. And my job loves to close because Texans, you know, we don't like the, you know, the icy roads and the snow and all that stuff. Yeah, we know it's winter. We know that people love to celebrate and have those little beautiful snowflakes come down in December. So it'll make it all nice and cozy and welcome in the new year with this new spring, whatever. However, if you're in Texas and been in Texas for a long time in the parts of Texas that doesn't get snow every year, you're rejoicing that it's raining and not snowing because it's just better that way. And no, he said, no, it's not your name. What is your name? Because that's a really long name, just like my channel name. I mean, imagine calling me Art Books Alive Denise D. Cooper every 5 seconds, even though I say it every 5 seconds. Oh, I didn't title it. So, you know, hi, I heard it's going to snow, not next week. Wherever you are, hope it snows. Hopefully it doesn't snow where I'm at, because I kind of like not I don't want the snow. That's all I'm going to say. I just don't want the snow. I grew up in the snow in Kansas, and we get really big, huge snow drifts in Kansas where, I mean, literally my bedroom window would be like blackened out. My room would be nice and dark and cozy. And we knew it was because the snow was just drifted over the window and covered the sunshine from coming in. And of course, you know, when it snows, it's like the house just is brighter because the snow's out there and it's white and it's crystal clear, shiny and beautiful. But I don't want it anymore. I don't miss it at all. The best thing I liked about the snow here in Texas is because, well, we moved here from Florida. My son, a Floridian, had never seen snow. So when I came home from work, he had a snowman built, yeah, everything in my garden, my collard greens, my tomatoes, basil. I had purple basil, green basil. I had, what else? We had a kumquat, no, it wasn't, yeah, kumquat tree or something, whatever that tree was. We were growing, it was like hip high or something. Everything died. It was frozen, and we haven't seen any snow like that since. But we have seen a lot of hail. Oh my gosh, like that. It was all over the place. It looked like snow. It was so heavy. And that's what ruined the last house that I was in. Hail. Hell hath no fury. So, anywho, I am going to be talking about, high five people, I am going to be talking about memoirs, and actually just pretty much anything that pops in my head as normal. And if you guys have any favorite memoirs that you've read, and it doesn't have to be just of this year, and I say that because I was actually pulling up like the top memoirs for 2017, and I kind of wanted to discuss those and see if anybody has read them. And then I've got like just all these lists, 7 best memoirs and so forth and so on. And the first 4 that I'm looking at, I've never heard of. I definitely haven't read. If I haven't heard of it, I haven't read it. Ding, 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 Denise. Anyway, The Year We Disappeared, A Father, Daughter by Brandy Bloomsbury, USA Children's Book. I don't know. It says 8 point, I guess 8. It says a score of 8. 8 out of 10. I guess it's really good. And I was actually going all the way down to number 7. Number 6 is New, A Long Way Home, a memoir by, and then it just stops, but it's 8.2. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about some memoirs and pulling up some lists while I do that. And one of the lists I wanted to look at was the top selling memoirs. That's what I wanted to look up. So if you have any favorite memoirs, one of my favorite memoirs, and if you have, let me finish my sentence, Denise. Okay. So if you have any favorite memoirs, then put them in the chat and let me know. And then I will, of course, say that out loud so everybody can know. And it's a recommendation for booktubers who come and watch the recording or who come in to the chat room, and book lovers like yourself. So I would say one of my favorites that I've read recently was Marina Abramovich. And she's like one of my favorite artists. She does that live type of taking herself through it type of stuff. Her and her husband, like, walking the Great Wall of China. And then as their relationship waned and they were going to get a divorce, they still kept the goal of walking the Great Wall of China, but they decided to walk to meet each other. And that is when their divorce would kind of be finalized to themselves. And the, their career in the beginning, they were always doing things together. And then it just fell off to where she was getting all the fame. And she's a beautiful woman. And not to say he's not a great looking man or anything, but I just think that she just took off because she is fascinating to watch, and her story. And my goodness, when you read her memoir, there's a part in there about her mother and how her mother, I'm sorry, got glare. Her mother would like leave the house, either go, I think she either was going to work or going downtown to do some shopping or whatever. Anyway, she left the young lady at home, a young Marina at home. And she was about, I'm not sure what age either, but she was young, but not too young to stay home, but just young. And she was by herself. And she went and her mother set her at the dining room table, I believe, and she had either eaten her lunch or whatever. Again, this is months ago that I read it, but I did read it. No, was it this year or last year? Whatever. It was last year, 2016, and it's still in my head as one of my favorites. But anyway, so she sits this young lady down and she has this cup of water, and she told her to basically sit there until she gets back. That kind of a thing. Don't be running around. Don't do this. Don't do that. Whatever. But just basically sit there until she gets back. Marina Abramovich, as a young lady, little girl, sits there at the table, like staring at that water, just like, she didn't, I don't even think she drank the whole or the half cup of water that was left, but she sat there for hours, did not move until her mother got back. And I'm like, that's like the start of her performance art career. And then I got to learn, because all the years that I had followed her, and I also watched her do interviews. And I can't show you the book because it was a library read. I don't own it, but that is worth a reread. And definitely worth a recommendation. I would highly recommend that. And so when I'm reading that, I'm thinking, wow, she started this attitude of wanting to do performance art, or being sitting still and trying to figure if, just train her brain to just do this one thing, in front of, even just for herself, because nobody was at home at that particular time. So then all these years later, she's had this amazing performance artist career of sitting there and putting herself through things for hours on end. I'm like, anyway, so one of the things that I learned about her, what I was going to say, is that she started off painting, and it shows pictures in the memoir about her autobiography, her early career in painting. And so she's this young, you know, Marina, you could just tell it's still her. She's very young, very beautiful, and she's got this big old canvas and she's painting, and it made me happy, like, because I love to paint still. That's still my favorite thing to do, whether it's dolls and creating and sewing and all that other creative stuff that we can do and sculpt. But my favorite thing is to paint. And so when I see one of my favorite performance artists painting, I was like, yeah. Another reason she's one of my favorite, but that is one of my favorite memoirs. And also around that same time, I think I read them back to back. Another one of my favorites is The Motorcycle Diaries with Che. I was like, first of all, The Motorcycle Diaries, okay, I'm thinking diary, they're just going to map out where they're going, him and his friend. But it was so much more. You got to learn about wars and him and his best friend, I forget his name, so sorry, but they were pre-med students, and they just took this long journey, and you get to learn about, I think it was Peru, and then just everywhere, and how he was almost on the same tracks of his father, because his father had kind of taken a voyage, and that young man journey, let's go and be wild and free before we have to settle down and become these men, these doctors, and take care of ourselves and our families, that are coming up or whatever. So he went on this journey, and it was pretty cool because some of the people he met along the way knew his father when he did this journey. So it was cool, and it was a really good learning experience. So two of my favorite two. So when I look in the chat, there'll be at least one, right? At least one of you. Hi, Katie. Hi. So one American in Asia. Are you going to tell me your name? Are you mad at me for not get? Who is Curtis? I'm trying to think. I'm so sorry. I need to, even if I write it down, it's not like, because I'm an old lady, I'm not going to remember everything. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to that story. Hello. And Griff said, this boy's life. Tobias Wolff. Thank you. So Tobias Wolff is your favorite memoir, or is that a recent memoir that you've read? And he also says, also going to read Seductive Poison, a memoir about the People's Temple cult. Seems interesting so far. Also reading Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Finally. I hear you. I read that when I was younger, and it's worth a reread. I actually need to reread that. I don't even own that book. I read that book. I think the copy that I read was my mother's. And then that's when, after I read that one, then I start buying her books. And so I have several of her books. And I think the next one after that I read, where she's kind of like a memoir. She's telling all her life story, and she was a dancer on stage, actress, and she was writing plays. She was doing some of everything. And I'm thinking, like, you know, the Maya Angelou that you know when you're young, and, you know, she's a poet and blah, 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 whatever. But I didn't know she could dance and sing and, you know, write and do, I mean, of course she wrote, but it was really good. I think, I forget the name of it, and I don't want to be turning all around and getting books, but I really like that one. So I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I love that. And then I watched the movie too. And of course, have you seen the movie before you read the book? Or are you going to read the book and then try to watch the movie? Let me know. So Katie, we are talking about your topic. She brought this topic to us for all the Saturdays for quite some time. And I think this is just the second one on the list that we're working with. Yeah, the first one, we talked about Out of Africa. And now we are on All Up in Their Business, a review of memoirs and autobiographies. So I'm not going to really be reviewing, other than just kind of mini chatting about something I've already uploaded. And those are my favorite two most recent memoirs that I've read. And I love them. So, and then the next one is going to be, this is next Saturday, Don't Believe the Hype, When Books Are All Talk, But No Action. Manpower is going to be fourth one. Manpower, books with strong male lead characters. And of course, that's going to take us, both of those. Let's see here. We've got, how many more Saturdays of this month? We have one more. One more. So Don't Believe the Hype will be the last discussion for this year, 2017. And so the beginning of the blackout in 2018 here. So Saturday we'll be discussing books with strong male lead characters. Now I already know what I'm reading for next, or for January, next month. And of course we're talking about James Baldwin and Jesmyn Ward, The Fire This Time and The Fire Next Time, and Gwen Richardson, and also there's one more, J. California Cooper. And I think the fifth one keeps escaping me, but there's a fifth one on there that I want to read. Can't think of it right now, but we'll discuss that one. So let me take that down without losing you guys. All right. So she said, oh, hi, Didi. How are you? Do not be afraid. This is Ratchet Hair Saturday. You know, because I was going to do a character, but, you know, because I'm like in a painting mood. I'm looking at my painting that I've been working on, you guys. And it has, I think I'm done. But then as soon as I told the young lady on Instagram, because she was like, am I done? Because every time I upload, she likes it, and then she likes it again when I upload or whatever. Don't quote me, you know, what she said, but, you know, I think she liked it. And I think she thinks it's done, or she was wanting to know when it's going to be done, or do I think it's done, kind of a thing. And I was like, I'm getting ready to paint this thing tonight because I just want to be done and have a good time. And so I hit the record last night, and then I just sat there and I stared at it, and I'm thinking, I think I'm done. I think she's right. I don't know if she just put that in my mind that, like, how much longer is this going to go, Denise? or what have you, but I'm looking at it and I think I'm done, and I'm going to take my glasses off so I can stop looking at it, because then I'm going to keep painting on it. But I'm going to take it down so that I can start the next one. And because I'm getting my, painting muscle ready for the 52 paintings that I'm going to do next week, next year, next week. Ciao. I'd be dead. Anyway, hi, Didi. I'm just going to take a minute and say, hey, Didi. Didi is all the way from, I'm going to say Paris. And I don't know the town that you live in, of course, other than, I send you stuff. So I really do know, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to be shouting out her town, but she in Paris. That's all I'm going to say. Hi, Didi, way across the water. Oh, and I talked to you today on one of your videos, one of your most recent videos, because I was like, I went to go see if you had a new video. And it was one I had already commented on. And then, so I commented under your comment or response to my comment. And I just basically said, the next time you come home, please let me know, because I'm coming to see you. Because I'm like, why didn't I go the first time? And I kept thinking, was I sick? Was that when my car was down? Why? Why didn't I drive 6 hours? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to miss you the next time you come home, is all I'm saying. So welcome to Live, Didi. And welcome to Ratchet Hair Day. Yeah, I've been inspired by Erykah Badu. Girl, I'm just lying, but I'm just saying. I was having fun. And anyway, let me go and see what you guys are saying. Let me go back up. Hi, pretty brown-eyed reader. And that was a little pause, wasn't it? But you guys know what I do. You guys know. This Boy's Life, Tobias Wolff, is where I left off. And so that's a memoir. And then Grape says hello to KT. And then Grape says, also going to read Seductive Poison. And I read that. Yeah, we were talking about Maya Angelou. And pretty brown-eyed reader. I don't know why I just like saying that. Hi, Alicia. She says, hi, everyone. And One America in Asia says, if you feel your life is art and end, bills, drugs, bad sex, get a motorcycle, the best drug addiction ever. My son, one of my older sons, they're all, grown, but my son William has a motorcycle, and I'm telling you, I fear for his life every time I look at his motorcycle. And it's really nice. I think it's red and black, and it's really dope. And my niece and her husband used to have motorcycles, and then, for the longest of time they had them. And I remember sitting on my, he's my nephew-in-law, and he had me sit on his motorcycle and just, I was like, get me off of here. That's too much power for one body to be on. It was like exciting, but at the same token, all I could see in my head was, yeah, scraping up my hands or something. I thought immediately of my hands and not being able to paint. So, and then also my niece, when she had an accident, they had some nice ones. I think they had Ducatis, and yeah, they were so powerful. And I remember he went around the block, and they live in a really nice neighborhood in Virginia, and their block is not a small block. He went around that thing and came home so fast. I was like, nope, can't do it. Not interested. So you go ahead and ride your motorcycle. You be very safe. And actually, this past week, going to work, there was a man who was on the side of the road. He kind of flipped and fell on his motorcycle, and he was off of the road. But you know how people like to look and gawk. So we was just stuck in traffic. And when we finally got up there and we just seen him, and he was okay, just a little shook up possibly. He was still sitting there, and the traffic was just watching him. Nobody got out, or maybe somebody did. I don't know, but we went to work. But be careful. And so I can't believe, Miss Didi, what time is it? 3 a.m., 4 a.m. over in France? She says she is awake. I cannot believe it. Brown Girl Reading said, no new videos yet. Hopefully this week. I'm going to try to do a lot review on Instagram. Awesome. During my lunchtime. Because I know if I think I caught the last end of yours one time, because I went over to the post office to mail off some bookmarks. And so I caught the last end, and I was like, I gotta go. But yeah, I love the lives. It's just a nice get together for booktubers again, or people that love to watch you. And so it's just nice to say hi to everybody. And so everybody's saying hi. And Bronco Reading said, hate motorcycles. They're just, oh, 4:30 a.m.? Girl. Oh, you know what? I'd be getting up at 4:30 a.m. too, so I don't know why I'm tripping. But I slept good last night, and then I got up real early. I listened to Wally Lamb. You guys, okay. So I did, oh, let me go ahead and change the title in here, because I'm going to be talking about memoirs, and current reads. And Didi is in the house. That will make people think that you're sitting next to me, Didi. So we got that, and I'm gonna save it. Oh, I don't know if I can save it just yet. So, hello 9 people, and I don't even think I did a proper opening because I was playing around with my ratchetness. I'm telling you, look, it's totally Erykah Badu up in here. And so anyway, what time is your lunch break? From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So right at noon, unless I get too busy. And so the first thing I like to do is like kind of run out and go to the post office or do my walk around and then come back. And sometimes if I'm going late to lunch, afternoon, or right after the 12 noon, then I'll try to eat first real quick and then try to go out and then come back. So, and usually when I go out and come back, it's only 20 minutes and then I come back. But, I can't be walking around, downtown looking at live and bumping into cars and getting killed. So I usually just watch it when I'm sitting back down at my desk. And why did I pick up my phone? I didn't mean to do that. I guess you was going live. I don't know. But anyway, let me tell you guys a little bit about, of course, I'm just kind of keeping you up to date with my current reads. And let me pull up this so I can see if you guys are seeing too much light. Okay, so it's pretty good. All right, and this color adjusts, and there we go. So, The Hour I First Believed, and you guys, it's making me read the book. And of course, remember, I have read some of this book. I was up to 100 and something pages, and then I stopped and I started reading other stuff and putting it down. So I have my little questions here. If you guys were here Sunday, I'm going over some questions. I was actually supposed to have a guest tonight, but something tragic happened in her family. So she's going to join me at the beginning of the year. And it's going to go right along. Drop that. I hope I don't hit the cord. It's going to go along with the blackout. And I'm telling you, hopefully some things are cooking for the blackout and we'll get some more notoriety, some more support. And for not only the blackout, I'm talking, I gave this person, I'm not going to say, I gave this person a whole list of Black booktubers who are participating in the blackout, Read So Lit, and specifically in February when we do the read along with Didi. And I gave them Didi's name, and because she's the creator of Read So Lit, I gave everybody's name. And then I went to Alan Janae's video where she had a list of Black booktubers, and I just basically copied her list and gave that person all of you guys' name. I hope you're not mad at me. And it's just, don't be mad. If you don't like me sharing your information, your channel is public. Public. So anybody can share it, right? So please don't be mad at me. Seriously. And it's to somebody that we've been talking about. And hopefully that person will do what, and he is. Or she is. Did I give it away? Anyway, I just hope to see everybody's name on something next year. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. That's it. And then I got some other things in the works, and yeah. So I'm so red. Everything is red. Red hair, red. And it's the color. It's just too much red in here in my room. The paintings, the chair, the everything, and the camera just can't handle it. I don't know where to sit my lights. You guys know how it is. But anyway, if you followed these lives, last Sunday I started on a list that I mapped out for myself, Didi, KT, Alicia, everybody. in 2016 December, remember when I showed you this list, and I think we went over 3 questions, basically 10 videos, 10 questions I had for myself as part of the art of this Art Books Live channel. And so I basically wanted to ask myself in December 2017. So 1 year thinking ahead of what I would cover, because as you guys know, and I've said it a million times, I like to study myself and see where I'm progressing and what I've learned, and by watching, paying attention to what type of art that I'm doing. I'm looking all around because it's everywhere and kind of see where my hand is going, and my reading also. Like, I like to look at my list of books that I've read, things that I have, like L'Habitard. When I look at that book and I look at the bookmark, I'm like, wow, why would I put that down? It's so beautiful, and I actually love that book. And so I do watch those years where I'm just jumping around, and then finishing something before, like I'm gonna finish this before I finish the Wally Lamb nonfiction November. Because right at the end of November, I could have finished this thing, but no, I wanted to read it, and this one part on live, and then that day I just didn't read it. I couldn't do it. I was a little nervous because you guys know how I do. So this is really good. But what, and I know I've talked about Wally Lamb at the end of this, probably that the third quarter of this year has been a lot of talk about Wally Lamb, and I've read 3 Wally Lamb books this year, including the 2 that I'm not finished with yet. And I'm on CD number, let me take a look. CD number, I know we're going to talk about Memoirs. Yes. 13, 14. So 14 is in the computer right now. So there's 15. That's the next one that I'll be looking. And guess what? There's 20. Yeah, there's a total of 20. Look at all that red. Red in here. So anyway, what this, talking about current reads, what this audio is doing for me, because it announces the chapters, chapter 18, chapter 25, whatever. So I'm like laying in there in bed and at night, and this is one of the first audio books that I have listened to in the middle of the night. Like, I used to get up on my phone and read Kindle books. Like, I have Camilla Roses on my Kindle, so I'll read that sometimes in the middle of the night by Bernice L. McFadden. And I really like it, but I don't want to finish it. Just like, I don't know if you guys get that way, just certain books you just want to read and take your time with. And so that's why when I say that I know what I'm going to do in 2020, it's more like a study per quarter. There's just going to be a few books that I read, or a few writers per quarter. And there's only 4 quarters. So I'm kind of just thinking of doing 4 writers. I love to study Toni Morrison. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about in 2020 if I get there. So anyway, this audio makes me read this book. So after listening to like a whole CD, then I'll stop, because, I go to the chapter and I put my paper in it. It's like right now, I forget what chapter I'm on. Yep, there it is. So I'm currently on chapter 24, right? And I've listened to the CD a couple of times because I was cleaning up my room and doing whatever. So I like to play it back, make sure I don't miss anything. But this CD is so good. Number 14 is so good. I've listened to it twice, like I said, and I like to milk it. And then reading it, there's so much going on. And he does what I like him to do. It's a story within a story. I mean, this lady goes up into the attic, right? And she picks up this letter. And the letter is like back in 1800 something, whatever. I should have saved the page. But anyway, and then it starts giving the story of these people that are related to the main character, Caleb, and Caleb's family, and how he is who he is. As I was going to spoil something, if you ever want to read this book, I would have just really spoiled it, so I don't. But she's going into this letter that this young woman wrote at the time, who lived in that house that he lives in. So it's a family home, and it's passed down. I can say that, and it's nothing. And she's finding out about the man of the house, because her and her husband are renting a side of the house. And she's just kind of nosy and whatever. And she goes up in the attic and she finds all this stuff. And he doesn't mind that she's doing it. And I'll tell you why. Well, I won't tell you why, because that'll really spoil it. So she's reading this letter, and then the book goes back into its time, and it's just so good. And then through this lady's nosiness, he actually finds out who he really is or what kind of happened. And it's so good. It's so good. But when it gets back to his wife, who cannot catch a break, because the book, the first portion is mostly about, I've talked about this a little bit, but for those of you who have not heard me talk about this, to kind of catch you up on what I'm reading, it's about Columbine and how those young men that go in there and do create this tragedy, how it affected one of the nurses that's in the school, which is Caleb's wife. And the rest of her life is just completely changed, and it's just going down and down and down, and it's like tragedy begetting tragedy after tragedy. It's horrific. And there's so much, like if you go on Goodreads and read all this stuff in 1 star, 5 stars of, you know, how people are rating this book, and some people are saying it's just a bit too much, like every tragedy in the world. But and there's a lot of stuff that's going on that actually happened here in America. So the Columbine, 911, it talks about a lot of different things that are going on. Katrina, and so it talks about a lot. But isn't that how we feel? This book is almost like how you feel every day when you turn on social media and you see somebody has, or like California is burning right now. Right before California, Hurricane Harvey and Houston, right before that, you know, and it's just a constant. And then Trump, the tragedy that is Trump. Okay, I don't care. It's a tragedy. And Omarosa, The Help. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But the book is really good, and it covers a lot of. It's very American tragic stuff going on, and how it can change your life, one tragedy to the next. And Ratchet Hair. Okay, so I'm going to see what you guys are saying, and I'm going to show you guys the 2 memoirs that I just pulled off my shelf, and I kind of wanted to read something from them, and also check again on some of the best memoirs of the year. If you have any, I know Didi loved Roxane Gay, Hunger. So is that considered a memoir? When you read it, is it a memoir? Is it about her life? And we talked about, and I did read the definition of what a memoir was based on dictionary.com. So you guys let me know your favorite memoirs. I got one, and I'm going to write that one down. That's what I was going to do. So Katie says, Brown Girl reading, she's in the bed. We're going to lose you real quick, Didi, because you're going to be sleepy. Don't go sleep. Okay, so I'm getting caught up. 4:30. Hi, new here. Hi, YS Books. So happy that you are here. And do you want to share your real name? Brown Girl Reading says, what time is your lunch break? Okay, I read that. And I didn't see the other. Okay, so hi, YS Books. And I'm going to keep scrolling down, you guys. This is what I do. I have to see what you guys are saying. And KG says, I watched the painting video, and that Wally Lamb book was really racy. Now I'm intrigued. Yeah, I was on a racy part. And today, I was I was in here doing a video because I was supposed to have a guest here, like I just said. And so I was listening to the book, and I was kind of, you know, the video that went up today on the other channel. So I was listening to Wally Lamb. I was like, I can't listen to that part. But, you know, it's got some saucy parts, but most books do, right? And so today, a video that I made, I'm like, yeah, I'm deleting that. I've deleted that whole video because it was at a racy part, and Caleb is a hot mess, but he's going through it. His wife, Muriel, is going through it. You guys, it's a good book. It's good. I'm never disappointed with Wally Lamb, though. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay, earlier this year, I read or listened to Wally Lamb's, I always forget the title, and it's the name of a song. It's the real short one. And, you know, he's got a couple of short ones, but this one is, God darn it, I can't think of it. I think it's a Mavis Staples song. I don't know. Anyway, I'll Take You There. Yep. Thanks, Mavis. It's called I'll Take You There by Wally Lamb. And so in this book, The Hour I First Believed, and remember I told you one of my favorite Wally Lambs is I Know This Much Is True with the twins on it. And it's about these twins. In this book, he mentions these twins. The prison book, the nonfiction book that I'm reading along with this one, in this book, there's a fictional ladies' prison. So all these books are tying together. And in this book, there's this kind of this certain thing that happens in I'll Take You There. That's the girl that went up in the attic to find, this letter and this back in time thing, because I'll Take You There was way back in time. And the same instance. So it's almost like this town of people, and it's all like coming together in his books. And like he just brought you in. Like it's not like you're gonna miss anything because that book can stand alone. But if you've read the other books, you go, oh, that's what's his name, or that's her, that's him, and that's the twins. So yeah. Anyway, I love that when a book does that. So anyway, she says, share, girl. Share, you talking about the story? And okay, Didi said noted at the time for my lunch. And she says she's in the bed. What you wearing, Didi? You got on footsies, you got a onesie, you got on come hither husband materials. No, I'm just joking. I'm just messing with you. Because, sharing is caring. Yes, it is. You talking about the book? Or you want me to share? Oh, sharing is, duh, Denise. You talking about me sharing your names? Sharing is caring. Sharing, good. High five. Let me know if that's what we're talking about. Because, I just get to rattling and I forget. And then y'all say something and the thought is gone. Welcome to the oldness. And one American in Asia, I'm just going to call you AA, saw a smooth-looking brother on iGram that started the first Black-owned cigar brand. What? If you smoke them, check out, and then it's his name on Instagram. Shout out to my young blood, and it's Aries, AIREYYS. Is that correct? Okay. Cigars. You know what? Something about cigars, I like the way they smell, but I'm not a smoker, so I'll never try it. But anyone else that wants to, please take the suggestion. Brown Girl Reading says, Wally Lamb is on my TBR author for next year. Haven't read anything yet. Didi, I think you're going to like it. I mean, I can gloat and gloat and gloat, and then somebody will get to the book and go, okay, it was good, but it wasn't all that good. But when you find a writer that you like, you just, you want other people to experience just a good read. And I Know This Much Is True was not his first book, which I thought it was, but it was a book before that. I think it was poetry or something. I talked about that in another video when I was talking about what I have on my shelf for Wally Lamb. And I had forgot the Mavis Staple title. But I think it started off with a poetry. Don't quote me, like I always say, because I don't remember. But anyway, it's on a video that I talked about the books in chronological order for Wally Lamb. I Know This Much Is True was the first Oprah book pick of his, and then she chose the second one, which is I Know This Much Is True. So, yeah, I love it. I Know This Much Is True is huge, Didi, but you be reading big books. You like that. And then KT says, I want to read that book, Didi. Oh, The Mother of Black Hollywood is the bomb as a memoir. Do you know when I went to go get the Gabrielle Union book, I went to get that one and she said, oh, we're sold out. So I got to wait until they get some more in. But I love that woman. Jennifer is a mess. And I like to watch her on Instagram as anybody else does. And her and Brandy are always together and singing. And I'm like, what are they doing together all the time? And I think somebody asked that. I'm not sure if there was an answer in that little comment section, but I remember seeing that question. Why are they always together? But I can't wait to get her book. I think she's not just full of hilarity. I mean, she's got so much strength and truth and honesty and everything that she does. It's like she just lays it out there. And then she talks about her being bipolar. And I remember that from years ago when they were talking to the Black female actresses at the time. I think it was her, Gabrielle Union, some other people in the room, other women. And I don't know. I just think it's gonna be good. I'm sure it is. I definitely want that one. I loved Born a Crime. Yes, KT. I still think about that book, and I'm glad I got it on with his voice on the Audible. That was one of my Audible picks. Totally loved it. I'm listening and reading simultaneously. Yes. So, oh, you get to. Oh, is she doing her own memoir on the audio, Didi? And oh, there's someone else in there. You should listen this song. I can't read that. Cambio di Piel, Denise Rosenthal. Okay. And why should we listen to that? Since you're making a suggestion, is that a song? Is that a book? Is that you should listen to this song? It just says you should listen to this song with a smiley face. So I really don't know. We are talking about books. So is this accompanying a book, a movie? Is it your song? Let us know. And Born a Crime was awesome too, says Didi. And she's with Shangela from RuPaul's Drag Race. Who's who? Jennifer? Because I have not seen RuPaul's Drag Race at all. Um, I watch RuPaul because he's the host of a show that I love. It's called Body Art or Body Paint and Skin something. I forget, whatever. Skin Wars. That's what it is. I know Michael Reed's watched it too because we talked about that a little bit when he was in here live and I mentioned it. So I know Michael Reed's has seen it, but it's called Skin Wars, where these artists who are doing very well in their field of painting and creativity, most of them have never body painted, and they're amazing at it. And they go, so it's a competition. So there's always one winner at the end. And some of those winners have now become judges on the other seasons. But RuPaul is the host of that, and he's always in his suit, and so he's not in drag or anything. And he's just a really good, precise host. Get in there, get him out, and he's just good. I would read his memoir if he wrote one, and if he has one, you guys let me know. I'll probably look up that after this one because he's just interesting. But I've never seen Drag Wars. And One America, yes, I'll take you there. Staple Singers, Real Soul Indeed, and Wally Lamb talking about that title. He names most of his books after, or all of them, even the nonfiction is after a song. And he names them after a song or a snippet from a song. Couldn't keep it to myself. And he talks about it in the beginning of this book, what part of the song, what song that comes from. So that's that. Anyway, also, finally got my essence in the chair right next to me. Stuff is falling. And the two books. Yay, I was able to catch them. Oh, but I wanted to write down something. So you guys have to forgive me for a second. I wanted to write down this suggestion. Jennifer. Okay, thanks, Didi. It's a hit in my country. And what country is that? It's going to be in a movie based on a book from Pablo Simonet. That's a pretty name. Or Simonetti? And One American Angel, cool titles, right? Yeah, he always has cool titles, every single one of them. I really like him. But anyway, I'm going to write this stuff down because y'all know how I used to do. And I have to bring this out again because I don't want to miss some of these memoirs. I have been in I bought the Bobby Brown memoir, I bought the Gabrielle Union memoir, and I wanted the Jennifer, sold out. And I also want Ricky Smiley. I think, who was that? Freeform Lady talked about that, and it was there at the bookstore, but I didn't buy it because I had already spent like $77, and I was like, I'm done. Get out, Denise. Run before it comes up to $100. And then she gave me like, 4 books free? So that was on the book haul for last weekend. And let me scroll back up because I'm going to write that down. Cambio DePel, Denise Rosenthal. And the one from American in Asia. Why have I think I heard of the name Denise Rosenthal? Maybe because it's my name? All right, hold on. So there will be some little pause because obviously I like to get recommendations. And so after this goes off, your chat stays up a little bit, and I get to take down things. So that's why I want you to kind of list it. So we've got some Pretty Brown Eye Reader. Alicia, do you have a favorite memoir? And I'm going back to One American Asia because that was a good one. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm scrolling up and it's kind of slow. Those. Okay. I think I got. I think I'm almost there. 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 No. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna have to wait because it's just scrolling and scrolling. Okay, I see that. All right, so Gabby, yes. Okay, Didi, do you watch Empire? We're talking about Gabby, and I can't say her last name. Sidby, you guys know who I'm talking about and who she's talking about. As you guys are in the chat room, so you can see it. It's a book of gay boy who suffers from his lover with AIDS. Oh my gosh, for the Cambio de Peel. I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering that name, but I wrote it down, and so I'll look into that. And so the music and the movie, especially if it's a movie, I want to see it. And I love music and movies, soundtracks. I remember I used to check out some from the library because I didn't want to go out and buy stuff. I'm already buying enough books. And so I would check out soundtracks, really good soundtracks for movies. And so I'll have to look into that. Thank you. And I would love to say your name right, but I know I'm messing it up. But you know who you are. With the purple. KT says, my book club read The Legs Are the Last to Go by Diane Carroll. One of the most beautiful people in the world. It wasn't great literature, but it was interesting to see what she was like back in the day. Yes. And then Didi says, I used to, but haven't been watching the new season. It means change of skin. Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I got that written down. And so the only two that I wanted to show or recommend, because I remember when this book came out, several people had it was on Facebook, and actually it was an old friend of my mother's, and when I took a picture of a little book haul that I've done at the time, and his book was in the picture, she was like, oh, I read this book, you should read that, and blah blah whatever. And then later, months, probably a year later, somebody said it wasn't all that, it wasn't good, and so everybody has a different opinion. And I follow this guy on Twitter, and I also follow him on Instagram. He's a beautiful man, and he's always on TV, but I don't watch regular TV, so I always get the snippets of his TV programming or interviews on Twitter. So I couldn't wait to read it. Unfortunately, I just haven't read it yet. And so I do plan on reading it next year. I was supposed to read this book this year. I was supposed to read it when I got it. So if anybody's ever read it, let me know. But it's this one here. Fire Shut Up in My Bones by Charles M. Blow, a memoir. Just a memoir suggestion. So I will be reading this next year, and it's very short, you guys. And he is a beautiful man. I think he shared some pictures on Instagram of his daughter and him, and I thought that was pretty sweet. Anyway, it's 228 pages. It's under 250 pages, which is a good what? Sunday short. So it says Charles M. Blow has been a columnist at the New York Times since 2008 and has appeared on MSNBC and CNN and Fox News, the BBC and Al Jazeera and HBO. He lives in Brooklyn with his three children. Okay, I just got a mind blown from Charles Blow. But anyway, seriously, he had a picture of his daughter. I just thought he had the one daughter. So maybe I should have read that when I got it. And there's blurbs on here from one of my favorites of all time, Alice Walker, okay? Diane McWhorter, I don't know who she is, Henry Louis Gates Jr., and Michelle Alexander. So some really good information or blurbs about the man, Charles M. Blow. And if you guys don't know who he is, check that out. Good looking man. Yes, he is. And I think it's, I don't know. From what he's tweets about, and his voice on the news, the little clips that I see. I think this is going to be interesting because he's very stern in what he's believing, and he goes in on Trump 24/7 on Twitter if you follow him. And I think on Instagram he bashes him a little bit there too. But I'm always in agreement with pretty much what everything he's said so far. So I think this is going to be good for next year, 2018. I'm actually mad that I haven't read this one yet. And the first time when I got this book, and you guys know the story, when I had a book signing myself, it was after the book signing of this man. And that was at a Black-owned bookstore in Tampa, Florida. And the lady who owned the bookstore and had that bookstore for their 15, 16, 20 years, whatever. And her name was Felicia. And she was just the nicest. And she let me put my art in the bookstore. And when I did my reading from my poetry book, and it was the next person, which was the last writer to give a reading, was Lynn Harris. And as you guys know, he passed away. So I got to meet him. And this is a memoir. It says, Lynn Harris, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted, a Memoir. Has anyone read this? And look at that beautiful picture on the back too. Look at that. And let me tell you how many pages this is. And I always love his pictures because he's just always really handsome. Anyway, he's a big dude too. Not big like in fat. I'm talking about in shape. Not like my big butt. 266 pages. This is short too. Comparison to that Wally Lamb book and some of them books Didi been reading recently. Like the Lacuna. But yeah, those are the two memoirs that I would suggest if you want to read along with me next year. I don't know when I'm reading it because I like to keep it open. Although January, because that's the first part of the Blackout 2018 where I read what? Nothing but African American authors. It's gonna go down. I'm gonna be so hyped. I'm gonna have Ratchet Hair and everything. It's probably gonna be yellow and blue and gold because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna represent. I'm gonna represent. Ow. And I'm gonna have my fro and it probably have sparkles in it. And I'll have some fat hair jewelries because she is killing it with the fat hair jewelry, skinny girl fat hair. So I'm gonna have fun next year with the Blackout, and I can't wait for you guys to join me. And I'm only shopping. Remember, I'm only shopping at Black-owned bookstores, and so the one that's here in Fort Worth, Texas, and also if Troy Johnson on the www.AALBC African American Literature Book Club has a list of all the Black-owned bookstores in the United States of America. So I will be shopping them by way of their store. If they do not have a website, I will pick up the phone and go, hey, do you have this book? How can I get it? Can I send you a money order? So once a month, different, because remember, I'm searching for also independent writers, going to buy directly from them. And so the Black-owned bookstore that's here in Texas, the one I just went to, the last book haul, I got my one independent. So I'm kind of starting early. I'm already started, right? So I got the book for A.J. Houston, a poet friend who's an independent writer, not a big house publishing, published it himself. And he's amazing spoken word artist, and he travels to do his spoken word. He is phenomenal. He's really good. And I think he said on the comment section when I talked about his book, I forget what volume he's on. I purchased volume number 2. I think it said volume 7. But again, don't quote me. You can check that video out and look in the comment section for A.J. Houston. And so he's the first independent writer that I purchased this year for next year, right? So January, I'm going to get another one, and it will be from a Black-owned bookstore. And so that's how I'm going to be doing it. And if you have not visited the www.aalbc.com and checked out Troy Johnson's issue with purchasing books from Amazon and then Google trying to take over, because remember, you guys, you can actually go to Google and put in a book, right? And it would bring up, Goodreads or Amazon or this place or Barnes and Noble and this, that, and the other. Now it's kind of like you Google a book and Google buy it from us, and it's almost like they're trying to battle with Amazon and all these other bookstores. And Google is so huge. I mean, you know, there's Bing, but I mean, does anybody use Bing? I mean, I don't know. Bing's got some beautiful pictures and everything, but Bing doesn't find the same things that I'm looking for right like in my city or just whatever. Google's got it down packed, right? They've been doing it for years. So now Google is trying to also monopolize your buying from them. And I've even given up thriftbooks.com. I'm giving it up because I got enough books, number one. And the books that I'm buying from Thrift Books or any other, and yes, we all like to thrift. And the reason I'm giving up them because I am supporting the Black-owned bookstores. And at my Black-owned bookstore here, it's not my bookstore, but it's, you know, for the community, for the culture, okay? And as you guys got to see in the book haul, I got some $2 books. So she also has a clearance section. So there's some used books there. So if I'm buying used books, I might as well purchase them from her to support her store. And also purchase the new books so that the writers can actually get the credit for it. So that's what my year is also about next year, 2018, the Blackout, where I'm going to be so dang supportive, you're going to get sick of me. See what you're saying. Let me find out. Didi, did you go to sleep on us? Did you? Let me check. Okay, so what is the memoir about? What is what memoir about? Let me take a look. Oh, I'm not going to read these memoirs about, tell you. Do you want me to read the synopsis? Is that what you're wanting to know? These are recommendations. I would definitely read the synopsis. But let me see if oh, it's an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll read the synopsis, but let me check in and see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Let me see. Good idea. Thank you. Let me see. I'm going to scroll up. Pretty Brown Eye Reader. I'm looking for her comment. Hey, musical Tati. Hi, Tati. Oh my God, Didi made it, says Tati. Hey, Didi and Kay. And DSA, Dasa? Let me see. Disa? That's what I'm going to say. I'm so sorry. Or you should read The Girl Next Door from Jack Ketchum. Is that a memoir? Hey, everyone. I'm halfway here being nosy while at dinner. Okay, Tati. One moment. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on. And then, okay, Alicia, there she is. Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader says, I know Kay. It's a tearjerker. All I could think of was the males in my family. Oh, my goodness. Charles Blow's book is good, she says. He is very open about his life. Yeah, I kind of got the gist of that. Especially when you read his Twitter and Instagram, you kind of get to a good feel of who he is now. And, yeah, I can't wait to read it. And then she says, Kay says, I have a 28-year-old son, so yeah. And then she read the Lynn Harris book, and it was sad but good. Yeah, so I'm going to read the synopsis, which is recommended by Disa. And Brown Girl Reading says, haven't read enough Lynn Harris. Yes, I had, when I did read him, and then I gave several of his books away to when I used to have my art parties at my house, and so we used to go to the poetry house and listen to all the poets, and then we would go over my house and paint. And Robert, hi Robert, if you ever watch my channel, I gave him about 3 or 4 of my Lynn Harris books. I even gave him a signed Lynn Harris book. So yeah, and but I still have about maybe 3. And so yes, I've read several of his. What is the memoir about? So that's where I left off. Also, what's the name of the bookstore in Texas? The bookstore is called The Dock Bookshop. And so I'm sorry, let me do a wrap up because you guys are coming in at different times. So earlier I talked about The Dock Bookshop, which is the DOCK, like dock at a, you know, the boats on the dock. It's called The Dock Bookshop, and it's here in Fort Worth, Texas. And they also have a website. If you go to www.aalbc.com, he has a list of Black bookstores all over the United States of America. So definitely check that out as well. And I'll link it once we're finished here because I don't want to save anything and then disconnect you guys. Hi, Kia Denae. Welcome to Ratchet Hair Day. So Kia Denae is in the house. And then, so now I'm going to go ahead and read these. And what is the memoir about? Also, what's the name of the bookstore? I just read that. Don't forget to style that dashiki. Yes, most definitely. Okay. So anyway, these are the 2 books And I talked about already, so if you're just coming in, we're talking about memoirs tonight. And we just did a little bit of the um, current reads also. And Didi is here, okay? And she's awake, and we're going to try to keep this funky so she won't go to sleep on us. So ask Didi questions, and then I'll ask you, because, I like to talk. So anyway, so fire shut up in your bones, and I'll read this blurb. That was my chair. All right, so anyway, not drinking wine. I just had some coffee. That's all, and it's way over there, and I can't get it. So anyway, fire shut up in my bones. Let's read that and stroke the ratchet hair. Fire shut up in my bones is the story of, and my God, the light. Okay, it's the story of how one of America's most innovative and respected journalists found his voice by coming to terms with a painful past. Charles Blow's indelible coming of age takes place in an arresting, out-of-time American place, a segregated town in Louisiana, where slavery's legacy felt close, reverberating in the elders' tales and in the near constant wash of violence. Right? Blow's mother was a fiercely driven woman with 5 sons, brass knuckles in her glove box. Oh my gosh, and a job plucking poultry at a nearby factory. Girl could not do that. I could not do that. I couldn't do that. I can't be plucking the chickens. I can't. But I'm glad she did, because she got to raise her voice. Okay, so she was plucking poultry, right, at a nearby factory when her philandering husband, trifling, when her philandering husband finally pushed her over the edge. Yes, don't push me, 'cause I'm close to the what? Okay, anyway. She fired a pistol at his fleeing back, missing every shot thanks to love that blurred her vision and bent the barrel. That's in quotes. Okay, Charles was the baby of the family, fiercely attached to his do-right, not good time mother. Oh my gosh. Until one day, a day that forever divided his life into before and after, when an older cousin took advantage of the young boy. Yeah. Yeah, Alicia. Charles escapes from that world to a nearby state university where he joined a black fraternity despite brutal hazing, and then experienced a social and sexual privilege that seemed at first like everything he ever needed. Is a searing redemptive, it just like stops and says, is a searing, that's not me cutting off, is a searing redemptive story that will work its way into the deepest chambers of your heart. So we get a little bit of backstory on Charles Blow, his mother, his philandering daddy, and what his mom did as her occupation. We get to know that he had an incident, tragedy for some people. Sounds like, I'm not saying for some people, that was just stupid. Sounds like he got raped. Okay. And yeah. And then going off to college, it says he escaped to a nearby state university where he joined a black fraternity despite brutal hazing. So we got hazing up in here. There's movies all about that. There's stuff on the news still to this day. People are dying from hazing. So I'm interested to see, I'm telling you, he's just interesting. I think this is going to be really good. I don't know. I think it's going to be good and interesting. And I still think he's fine as heck. And Lynn Harris, for those who want to know. Lynn Harris, just he was so talented and beautiful. For almost a decade, beloved storyteller Lynn Harris has welcomed you into his family with his passionate, warm, and trailblazing novels. Now he invites you into the most intimate world ever, his own, right? Thus the memoir. All right. Since his first book, Invisible Life, which I've read, was published in early 1990s. Gosh, I was so young. Okay. New York Times bestselling author Lynn Harris has wowed, charmed, and romanced millions of readers. As a master storyteller, Harris has created an intimate and glorious world and centered around his signature themes of love, friendship, yeah, the light, and family. People all over the world have fallen in love with his characters and laughed and cried with them, it says. I'll continue. Now, in the most daring act yet, Lynn Harris writes his memoir from his childhood in Arkansas, where my mom is from. Oh, we might be related. Okay. As a closeted gay boy through his struggling days, as a self-published author to his rise as a New York Times best-selling author in What Becomes of the Brokenhearted, this book here. Harris shares an extraordinary life touched by loneliness and depression. But more important, he reveals the triumphant life of a small-town dreamer who was able, through writing, to make his dreams and more come true. And we were talking about that a little bit last week, talking about writing in our diaries and journals, and how those things can actually change lives, and find what we want to do in our professions, and so forth and so on. So very interested in reading this, because I've read several of his books, and then to share them with another grateful reader at the time. Hi, Robert, again. So yes, Lynn Harris, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. So there's your synopsis for both of them. I like it, and I can't wait. And if you guys, the two that I talked about, Marina Abramovich, two of my favorites, and the other one was Che, The Motorcycle Diaries. If you read them, please come back at any point and let me know, and tell me if you enjoyed them, because those are the two that stand out in my mind right now. And I almost wanted to say Martin Luther King, the one where it was the book of sermons that I read a couple of years ago. That one will never go away. That's a book I said at the time that I'll just like take and maybe just read one, because it's a book of his sermons that he didn't really think was going to be interesting to anybody but, the preachers and people that would want to learn, from him like he learned from other preachers. But his wife and other preachers felt it would be a good tool, not only for them, but for an audience of, of Christians. And it's a really good book. And I should have gotten it off the shelf, but it's probably like way deep somewhere. But that's the other one that came to my mind. And the other two, that's the only one that I own that I just wanted to talk about tonight. But the other two, of course, were library checkouts. Che's Motorcycle Diaries, which I have the Che book over there. Still haven't finished that book. And sad, because I'm not going to finish it. Not this year, and not going to read it next year. So I'll have to wait till 2019. Or maybe 2020 when I do the, what I want to do in 2020. And make a study, a full quarter study of a certain writer and author. And I can't wait to do that, because I just love it. And I just caught a whiff of myself, and y'all could have told me. My nose is shining like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But let's check the time. Johnny is playing, and it's almost time to go. It's 1 hour and 17 minutes. God, I'm always going over. I can never just do 1 hour. So anyway, KT, let me go back. Okay, I'm caught up. I read Lynn Harris' book. It was sad but good. Okay, haven't read, and I read that from Didi, and I read the memoir, the synopsis. So hopefully you will pick those up if you are interested after me reading those. Don't forget to style that dashiki. I read that, and then Kia Denae said hello. So that's where we stopped. There's 7 people still. You guys aren't talking to people after that. So hopefully that is it. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, there is one more last thing, because I was happy that I finally have the essence right next to me. So I'm going to look at you and stop looking at what you guys are saying. Pause, Johnny, pause. Thank you. All right. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the essence, because you guys know I love, ooh, let me get my address off of there. I love the Essence book suggestions, and I've been a fan of this magazine for years. And I remember back in the day when it only had black ads, like, like that. Versus that, oh, look at Tracy. Look at that. Which is beautiful. And I'm so glad that everybody's inclusive. But you know the deal. This is Essence. And I freaking love Essence. It's the one thing that makes me feel girly. And I get my dose of fashion, which I don't care for much. Ooh. But things I do care about. Oh, wait. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? What? Yes. Can we say Black Jesus? Anyway, and then actually this is the focus on the wonderful madam herself, Queen Maxine. There she is. And it's really good. And it's very short. That's the only bone that I have to pick with this article of Maxine Waters. What I loved about it is you get a timeline, or kind of like a timeline, on where her career was, what she did in the beginning. Not going to tell you because you might want to read it, and why should I tell you everything? That kind of a thing, you know? I don't want to spoil it. I know it's a short article, but it tells you that she's been in service to American citizens for a really long time. And I really appreciate her. And so it's really nice. I just love it. And there's more of a little bit. But it's basically set up like an interview style. So Angela Rye is the actual interviewer rather. And let me read a little bit about her. She's the CEO of Impact Strategies, a political advocacy firm in Washington, D.C. So she's also a lawyer, a CNN political commentator, and NPR political analyst, and the host of the podcast on One with Angela Rye. So when I read that, when I was reading, after I finished this article, again, I kind of wanted to say, do another story on Maxine. Give us more, give us more, give us more. Because I actually like the interview style, yet I didn't get enough of her. Because, you know, you got to go with the questions. I kind of wish she would have, I wish she would have just done an interview with her, done a lot of homework on her, and then give us a nice written article. You know what I mean? Like, I want to read about her from your angle, Miss Rye. And, you know, that's kind of what I wanted. But I like the fact that it was an interview. Maybe that's what you chose to go with, because it does say there was hours spent on this interview, and she's, you know, got all these different outfits. So it's a whole essence photo shoot, and, you know, but I kind of wanted to just read about it and get more of what she's done. And because instead of just mentioning in these little blurbs of questions and answering, and, you know, but she's phenomenal and I love her. And the books, when I tell you guys, this is what's a good one. And I really like this guy, the guy that does the book section. And I guess I should have had it tagged, but I don't. Welcome to my world. I don't, Kia Denae. Oh, there it is. Okay. So best books of 2017 is from Patrick's Picks. Patrick Henry Bass is his name. And several of us know who he is because we read about him and so forth and so on. So over here, Denise. There he is. See the page? Okay, so Kim Fields is right at the top. Tootie, celebrity Kim Fields, nonfiction, Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Tozake Shange. She's got a book called Wild Beauty, New and Selected Poems of Tozake Shange, and I'm Judging You by Lovey Ajayi. And she was at the Texas Book Festival, and I didn't get to see her. But anyway, Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. And that's it, Kim Fields' Blessed Life. So from social justice to self-help to spirituality, here's a roundup of this year's top reads. And so I think I want all of them. Definitely want Jesmyn Ward. And I already read the Ta-Nehisi Coates, but not this one. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates' We Were 8 Years in Power. And when I read that long article, whoo, it was really good. And Wild Beauty, I would like to read that. And I'm Judging You. Been wanting to read it. Follow her on Twitter. Haven't read it yet. I've seen it at the library, but, you know, I haven't checked it out yet. But it might be one that I buy for next year. And that's that in the essence. So we got book suggestions. We got 2 memoir recommendations. We caught up on my current reads. Still loving both of the Wally Lambs that I'm listening to. And tomorrow I will go over the questions, the artist questions. I think we left off on number 3. So I got 7 more to go. And I really like doing that. I really did. So you guys let me know. And hopefully I will see you here tomorrow. Thank you so much, Didi. I appreciate you being here. I really do. And thank you, Stevie and Marley, whenever you watch this. I appreciate you always. And I can't wait for The Wiz done your way, Stevie. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks, Tati. Thanks, KT. Thanks, Alicia. Thanks, Dasa. Thanks, One American in Asia. Thank you, Kia Denae. Thank you, Sabrina. I love seeing Unburied Sing, she says. Oh, thank you for being here, first of all. And I'm sorry I just saw this right at the end. And then I can't say the last name, Abdalgadir. First initial S. And okay, so you were the one that was asking about the memoir, what it was about. So we read the synopsis on both of those. And that is it, you guys. Thanks for everybody being here and showing up. Thanks all 7 of you who are still sticking around. At 1 hour and 25 minutes, I'm going to say goodbye because I got stuff to read, man. But I'm going to paint and listen to Wally Lamb because I'm on 14, which I really need to take out of there because I'm actually on 15 because, like I said, I've listened to this one a couple of times, and then I read the chapter from the physical book, which is so much fun doing. And I know you're doing the same thing right now, Didi, to the book from Jennifer. Amazing. And any other memoirs that we've all mentioned tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the topic, talking about memoirs. I love it when people get me all their little nasty business. It's the best way to be nosy. Just read somebody's memoir. You want to know something about them. Is that right? You want to know my memoirs? You want to know? I might write them down one day and put them in a bottle and throw it into the ocean and be real dramatic with them and have ratchet hair pictures of what I really look like when I'm in here acting a fool. Oh, Erica Badu, how do you do it? I don't know. Lord Jesus. With my glasses. There they are. Bye, you guys. Seriously. I'm out. It was fun. And please join me tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to put the ratchet hair behind me because that don't make no sense. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the questions, and hopefully I'll be done with the Wally Lamb book tomorrow because I'm going to be staying up pretty late. I got to take that canvas off, put another one on, and do some painting and enjoy my weekend knowing that I don't have to get up early in the morning. And I am so happy to look forward to doing one painting a week. Oh, and I need to do my submission for the museum, in which they've sent me another email. This is the second email they've sent. I do still have some time, but I actually have to take pictures of the couple of paintings that you see behind me. Actually, all 3 of those, the ones with the turquoise background, those are the 3 that I'm submitting to be in the museum. Remember when I won 3rd prize for a piece of my artwork? So going to that same museum, and hopefully I'll get everything done on time. I'm really bad about that part of the business of doing art. I like to create it, but not take pictures and upload them and send them in emails and try to meet deadlines and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get it together because I love it every time I do, and I love when people come out and talk to me about it, and that's that. Bye, you guys. See you tomorrow. We'll do some more chatting. Come and sip some wine and do all kind of things. Maybe I'll get somebody in this chair over here that I reserved. Unfortunately, my guest could not make it. It was a tragedy in her family, so just pray. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye.